everyone. Welcome to episode 11 of The Full Count with your hosts, Grant Contron
Greg Furtado
and Jose Gonzalez. Let's get this show on the road. First subject we're talking about tonight is some pre-early draft concerns for some teams that are maybe got the 1 through 5 spots. Now,
for the NFL,
obviously the Bears are going to.
Good.
Obviously, the Bears need help at quarterback.
Oh, I completely agree with that. I wouldn't surprise me if quarterback would be the top position that they draft for in the first round. Wouldn't surprise me. I'd be very surprised if they didn't draft for quarterback. That'd be the first position I would draft for, would be quarterback. Because I was really good quarterback. And hopefully this time that will do really well is being the number one draft pick overall this year, or is it the Browns? It's whoever has the.
Let's see. Who's got number 1?
It's whoever has the worst record in the NFL.
I want to say either Cleveland or St. Louis. But I think Cleveland went. No, wait, Cleveland won 1. So.
See, I'm pretty sure it's Cleveland then that's got the first number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. According to this poll that I'm reading on NFL.com, let's see. Come on. There we go. According to this poll I'm reading, let's see. According to votes, let's see. Myles Garrett got 16 votes. Deshaun Watson got 6. Jonathan Allen got 2. Let's see. Leonard Fournette got 1, and Jabril Peppers got 1. This is according to NFL.com. This is the story on NFL.com.
Yeah, if I was the Bears, I definitely would be drafting a quarterback in the first round. And do I think the Bears could possibly pull it off? I think they've got a lot of work to do. The team that I think that is going to do really well within the next 2 seasons still, even after this.
Mm-hmm.
The team everyone's going to want to go after is the New England Patriots.
Of course. Now, let's see. Of course, apparently, with sticking on the Bears for a minute. I mean, which quarterback did they go with? I mean, they've got a whole lot of options. Let's see. They've got Mitch Trubisky out of North Carolina. Let's see. Deshaun Kaiser out of Notre Dame. Pat Mahomes out of Texas Tech. Sean Watson out of Clemson.
I would say go after Watson from Clemson. Since they've got that early of a draft right now, I would say go for Clemson's quarterback. Bears.
Okay, okay, fair enough. This is where I'd ask state your case,
Watson has done very well this year. Remember if the Heisman this year, but I know he was in the running for it. And he's done a phenomenal job this year. Actually, all the guys that were listed for the Heisman this year, the final for 2016 for the Heisman winner, they were all good.
I hear you.
Lamar Jackson who won the Heisman Trophy this year. I'm pretty sure the post quarterback was in pretty sure the quarterback was in the list.
Yeah, let's see. Lamar Jackson won the Heisman this year, so.
Deshaun Watson was in the running for that. So, and if I remember right, Deshaun Watson's older than Lamar Jackson. So if I were the Bears, the guy I would draft Deshaun Watson. If I were them. If he and is Deshaun Watson, is he committed to the draft?
Be committed. Give me 1 second. Let me look. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know if it says he is. Let me check something.
If he would into the draft, that would be the guy I'd say the Bears should go for. But that's just my opinion.
Hmm.
He's done very well throughout all the ACC this year.
Let's see. Now you say Watson. Now you say Watson should go to the Bears. I'm reading. These might just be headlines, but I'm reading let's see. According to the Pro Football Focus, that they have an early mock draft that the Browns take him #1, and they need help too.
Well, whatever quarterback's still out there, even if it is not Watson, they definitely have to draft a quarterback that's #2. Right below.
Just what do you do with Cutler? Do you make him back? Do you make him a backup and let him fill out a contract?
No. Sorry.
So you release him, but you still have to pay him all that money that you owe him.
You may have to go to a different team. Sorry. Because the thing is, the Bears need younger players. They want to win. Sorry, Cutler's not cutting. Sorry.
No, you don't need to apologize for that. It's just, I mean, another option here we could talk about is what about taking Jimmy Garoppolo out of New England?
I don't. It could be Jimmy Garoppolo. If I were the Bears, also, yeah, if you could get maybe signing Jimmy Garoppolo might be a good idea. The thing is, because of how much money.
Did Doe signal on you?
I think the best thing for him probably would have stayed with the Patriots if I were him. The next in line to take over Brady later on. At some point. I don't think it's going to be right now. But Jimmy Garoppolo, even when he played in the very first few games, he did really well. And I'm pretty sure they're going to keep him as a backup. I'd be surprised if they let him go. I'd be very surprised if they just let that guy go.
I don't think I would, only because I think he wants to prove he can be a starter. And he needs a team that'll give him that opportunity. I mean, has he done well with the chances he had in New England? Yes.
Players want to win Super Bowls when you're in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And he's won a Super Bowl ring, even though he's a backup. I think you'd rather stay with the team that has been established and has shown that they've been able to win Super Bowls. The Bears haven't won a Super Bowl since 1980. The Patriots have got a big long run.
Well, how long are we going to see Brady at starting quarterback? I mean, like 3-4 years.
I don't know. The thing is, if it was me, I'd rather be a veteran quarterback and still winning Super Bowls and still getting paid better money than being a starter being paid really good money. You've got no protection on it.
Okay, I mean,
I'm sorry, but
no.
If I was a starting quarterback or even a backup, I would rather have the best protection as possible. So, like New England Patriots, the way they played, they had very good protection this year. If I was a backup quarterback, I would want that. Or have really good offensive line to protect me. The Bears didn't show that at all this year. That's one of the reasons why the Bears lost so many games this year.
Okay. So you're saying if they don't go through with the Garoppolo trade, then they should go through the draft and get the guy from Clemson.
I think they should, but like I said, if they can't get the Clemson guy, then they have to get the #2 guy right below him. And that's why they do before the NFL draft. That's why they do those combines anyway to see where they rank it.
I mean, this is just my personal opinion, just looking at some basic stats. But I think if they don't get that, the guy from Clemson, then they need to get a Trubisky. I don't know from North Carolina. So he's 6'3", he's 220. His 40 time isn't as good as some others, but with the kind of frame he has, he's able to take some hits and maybe run if he has to. Let's see. There's been more of a second round caller skill set, but that doesn't preclude teams from reaching out him in the first round. Teams have had a second day grades on many quarterbacks and them going as top 32 picks. Sources from 3 different teams told me that they graded Trubisky in round 2, but he received a first round information from the NFL Draft Advisory Board. One playoff general manager told WalterFootball.com that they rate Trubisky the highest because he has the tools to play with accuracy and athleticism. Most team sources project Trubisky to go high in the first round, so if you were the Bears GM, you would go after Watson.
I'd say if I were the Bears, yeah, I would go for Watson.
Okay. Now, assuming you get Watson, assuming he's not taken by like the Browns, and you get him, do you start him? Do you make him a starter?
So if you don't have a decent backup quarterback.
I mean,
the question is, who was your backup this year? Was he ever used? So
I think your backup was McCown, and he wasn't too bad. Yeah, the backup was McCown, and he actually didn't do too bad as a backup. He's the kind of guy who can fill in if he has to. But at the same time, you also need someone who can go forward towards the future and rebuild this org.
And I agree.
You know, this team.
I agree with that. And the thing is, like I said, I don't think it's a bad move for the Bears to try to get Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think that's a bad move at all. But I'm looking at Jimmy Garoppolo's standpoint more than the team of the Bears. And if I was him, I would rather be the backup quarterback for the Patriots when he's already done fairly well with them. And he's had decent he's had decent coverage rate for himself, and he's got good protection on him.
And he's won a ring without really having to actually try to get on the field and win one.
And if I was him, I would want to stay with the Patriots because
but at some point, he's going to want to get on that field and prove that he's got the tools.
Yeah, but I think for him staying with the Patriots, I think they can give him that shot. They gave him a shot early on already, and he's proven to do fairly well. It's like what they did with Terry Bradshaw. It's like what they did with Terry Bradshaw.
I think Garoppolo, didn't he go 3-1 during Brady's absence?
Yeah, he only lost one game. He did really well. That's why if I was him, I would stay with the Patriots.
That's good. That's fair enough. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Because if I was him, if I was going to go to the Bears, I would want to have these very good offensive line to protect me. I wouldn't want.
Yeah, that offensive line's been crap for years.
And that's my point. I mean, if their offensive line was better, I can understand why Jimmy Garoppolo should maybe go there. But the Patriots have already shown they've got a good offensive line. They've shown that. Mm-hmm. That's why if I was Jimmy Garoppolo, I would rather stay as a backup and get protected and have this good offensive line where you're winning Super Bowls. They go to a team where you can potentially get yourself injured or hurt and possibly out of the NFL quickly.
I mean, what the Bears need to do, they need to draft a quarterback first and then maybe try. I don't know if they should trade up to get some offensive line or wait till the second round to get some offensive line, but they need offensive line help.
I think second round offensive line should be the next thing anyway, absolutely.
Do you go with tackle? Do you go guard?
I think it's probably guards are probably the best for them.
Okay.
Defense, when it comes to the Bears, defense was actually a big thing a long, long time ago. Actually, here's a little interesting fact about myself that a lot of people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
About the Bears. Hall of Famer. And guess what team he played for?
I don't know.
the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
His name's George Musso. He's the first NFL player to get all NFL in both tackle and guard.
That's impressive.
And you can look him up.
Let's see. Oh, let me do that.
USSO, George Musso.
Let's see. How do you spell his name?
What?
Let's see. How do you spell his name?
MUSSO, George Musso. He's an NFL Hall of Famer.
George Francis Musso, the first American football lineman. Let's see. Collinsville. Okay. Well, let's see what his stats. That's probably better.
And he played for your team, the Bears.
Let's see.
And actually, I played the Bears also.
I don't know stats on it. That's weird. Wow. And he played his whole career with the Bears.
Yes, he did. They won plenty of NFL championships with him. Now let's put an AFL for merger.
Okay.
Yes, he's one of the big old timers, but he was one of the best players in that era. Actually, if it wasn't for what was for Mike Emlyn over there, the NFL wouldn't be to where it's at right now. He's one of the players that got to where the NFL is at now.
I think like one more point on the draft. I mean, assuming the Browns aren't foolish and try to trade away their number one pick, who do they go with?
You would like to think that, but you never know.
I didn't catch on that.
I said you'd like to think that they wouldn't trade the number one draft pick. You'd like to think that it has happened in the history of the NFL before.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's say they don't. Let's say they don't. And if you were in the Browns front office, who would you select with that number one pick?
I obviously would be drafting a quarterback. Obviously, Browns need the biggest position they need to help with also is quarterback.
Okay.
So that's like I said, if the Browns did pick Watson, then the Bears have to go for the number two guy. If Browns decide to pick someone else before Watson, then I think the Bears have the best shot of getting Watson. The main key guy that's going to determine really how the draft goes is Watson. If he gets drafted number one, then the Bears are going to have to go for the number two guy on that list. If the Browns pick someone else and they don't pick Watson, then the Bears have a really good shot of drafting.
I mean, if the Browns do pick Watson, I say the Bears go with the guy from North Carolina.
I would agree with that. I definitely would agree with that.
Okay.
The ACC quarterbacks this year were really good this year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, focusing next on some NCAA talk. Let's see, we're inching closer and closer to March Madness. I mean,
I can't wait for this. I love March Madness. I can't wait for that.
Oh yeah, let's see. Gonzaga's undefeated. They're still number one with 60 votes in the AP poll and 29 in the USA Coaches poll.
Very nice. I've always liked Gonzaga. I've always liked them. They've always been what you consider almost the perfect underdog.
Let's see. RPI. Let's see. What's BPI? I never understood that.
What?
Let's see. BPI, the measure of team strength, is meant to be the best predictor of performance going forward. Let's see. So
yeah, RPI is what they consider the top thing, or the most crucial number for how teams probably will play out for the rest of the season, and what team probably has the best chance of winning the NCAA title. Usually, not saying that's always true, because there have been teams that have been like the top 25 that have been lower than 4 and have won.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, running up the top 10 in RPI, we've got Kentucky number 10, Arizona number 9, Florida at 8th, Make sure I'm reading that right. Oregon 7, Gonzaga 6, North Carolina
Gonzaga
5.
6, 4
Yeah.
Louisville, 3 is Villanova, 2 is Kansas, and number 1 is Baylor.
Baylor. Yeah. And Baylor's got the 4th toughest schedule in the NCAA.
But it's like I said before, it's going to depend on how the conference schedule goes, and it's also going to depend on how they play in their conference tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would say if they were Kansas, Villanova, and Louisville win the conference tournaments, they would automatically be. I don't think Louisville will be number 1 seed on that. Actually, Louisville probably will be a number 1 automatic seed because they've got the 7th toughest strength schedule. So I think they've got a good job getting number 1 seed, as does Baylor. Villanova, I'm surprised they're 25-2, but their strength schedule is at number 45. So they may get a number 2 seed this year. They may be a little bit lower in what they did win their conference tournament. So it hurts them the most. Kansas, I could definitely see being number 1 seed. Gonzaga, well, they're undefeated. It's going to be hard for them to be a number 1 seed because of their strength of schedule being at number 89. And even if they won a conference tournament,
even if they won a conference tournament, I'd say they at least be highest to be a 2, maybe lowest to be maybe a 5 or 6.
I don't think even be 5 or 6. I think the lowest probably would be at most 5, even 4. They would have, I think they would have 4 for the way they're playing.
Okay.
See them being a number 1 seed because they're straight of schedule.
Okay.
That's the thing that really just hurts Gonzaga. I mean, if Gonzaga just had a better straight of schedule, yeah, they definitely be a number 1 seed.
Well, really, it relies on your conference, and the conference Gonzaga is in pretty weak. That's kind of why their strength of schedule is so low.
That's the biggest reason why. And that's why companies like ACC, Big Ten, SEC, and Pac-12, that's usually the reason why those conferences tend to have the most teams in the tournament every year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, you'll have your 1 or 2. You'll have your 1 or 2 from mid-major conferences, but they're really they'll get like a lucky first round win, or like we won't. I don't know if we'll see another George Mason again.
I don't think so. Especially with those 4 conferences, they've got so many teams in there now that they'll probably take up most of the tournament. To be honest, I sort of like that because it probably shows them who really has the better competition. Competition. Who has the best team of all of that year?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, right now, if the conference tournaments is all ended right now, and the actual tournament started right now, who would be your first 4 out?
First 4 out if the NCAA tournament start right now.
Mm-hmm.
So first 4 out in the NCAA tournament. Well, that'll probably be somewhere in between the 60s and lower. I would say now with loss record, Michigan.
You'd say between 26 and lower?
No, I'm looking at RPI, and I'm looking right now from 51 through
Okay. Oh, no, I see where you're looking. You're on ESPN. I see it.
Yeah. Because Michigan's straight to schedule is not too bad, but their 1-loss record really hurts them. They're 1-2 versus 1 through 25. They're 2-4 versus 26 to 50.
Let's see. I think one of my first 4 would be Vanderbilt. I mean, the only thing that really helps them is their strength of schedule, but they're 13-13.
Oh, and I agree. Vanderbilt is definitely in there. 13-13. Their strength of schedule is number 5, but 13-13. Yeah, that doesn't bode well either.
Let's see. They're 1-3 against top 25 teams, and 2-5 against teams outside the top 25. 5-4 against. Let's see. The only real winning record they have is a 5-4 record against teams 51 to 100, and it's not really good.
Closest bubble might burst. Pittsburgh is a possibility.
I'd say Princeton gets in, but barely. I'd say they're one of the final 4 teams in. Let's see, they're 15-6. They're showing a schedule that doesn't really help them, which is 120th. Let's see.
Stanford probably will not make it in.
But let's see. Here's another interesting stat. And their last 12, they're 12-0 in their last 12 games. Even though I'd assume they're in a week.
Really,
they're in a week of conference.
I don't really look at about the last 12 games. You got to look at their overall season, how they've done from beginning until basically end of the conference tournament. Because that's how usually when the teams are selected, when the tournament committee, they look throughout the whole season how they play and where they rank in the RPI rankings. Because that's the RPI rankings usually are the best determination of who will probably make the tournament and who won't. And the most important number within the RPI is strength of schedule. So whoever has the best strength of schedule outside of conference and then within their own conference. So if your conference is ranked number 1 within your strength of schedule, and then you've got the number 1 strength of schedule overall also, you'll be the number 1 overall seed. So let's say, for example, let's say that Duke, I know Duke's lower this year in RPI, but they can make the tournament anyway. Let's just say Duke had the number 1 overall strength of schedule this year if they did. And their conference was ranked number 1 within all the conferences with RPI. And that team would be the number 1 seed because they have the toughest strength of schedule of all. You see what I'm going with this?
Yeah, I see it.
That's why they would be the number 1 overall seed if they would go undefeated and win every game of that. But that doesn't happen. The RPI rankings have shot of winning the NCAA tournament.
Let's see, another interesting team. Let's see. One of my final 4. Let's see. Yeah, they're trying to really help them here. Let's see. Vermont's 23-5, but they got a really bad strength schedule. As in, let's see.
The thing is, they have a bad strength of schedule, but they would win the conference tournament. They automatically make it in. So whether you like it or not, if they would win the conference tournament, they're in the NCAA tournament regardless. If they would win the conference tournament.
Now let's say like you're a team, like I don't know, you're a bubble team, but you make it to at least the semifinals of the conference tournament. Like
Elite 8. You mean?
No, I mean no. I meant like of the conference tournament.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Would you give that team a spot in the actual tournament itself?
It would depend on the conference you're in. It also depends on your strength of schedule. It would also depend on the team you're playing against.
Okay, let's throw out something. Let's say the Big Ten. Big Ten. Let's say, I don't know. Oh boy, I can't think of a team right now.
Are you talking about Minnesota or Purdue?
Yeah, like Minnesota, Purdue taking on like Illinois, or Ohio State, or actually, taking on Michigan State.
Well, if Michigan State would be Purdue or Minnesota, Michigan State probably would get a higher lead. And even if Purdue lost or Minnesota would lose, if one of those teams would be in the final game, those two teams probably would make it still in, even if one of those teams lost. Just depends, and that's why I said depends on your strength of schedule also. That's why there's a lot of factors that go into it. Just tend to do the best of who probably
I know. There's a whole lot of things that go into this that we don't even understand. But I don't think even the general sports fan understands.
True. I'm not a general sports fan. I've understood this now very well. And that's why there's a lot of variables that go into this. It's like math. There's so many different variables that play out. And that's why you can have all these early predictions saying what teams you think will be the 68 teams, but it changes every week. until you get to basically the conference tournament, and then the conference tournament really starts making the determining the final factors of who will make it.
Like, let's see, out of the top, let's go 15. Out of the top 15 teams that have the schedules, let's see. Baylor's 21-4, so it's probably a shoe-in. Let's see. They might be a shoe-in. I don't know. Depends on how they do in the conference tournament. So they got to see if they have the sixth toughest schedule.
Xavier, they've got a good shot. If they would win the conference tournament, they definitely will make it in. They definitely
see Georgetown's 14-12.
Georgetown, that's going to be a little bit tougher for them. So they're 14-12.
Let's see. Yeah. Even if let's see. LSU's 9-16. Even if they won out, I don't see LSU getting in.
I don't see them even winning the conference tournament. They're 9-16 overall.
Now, is this selection process different from how they do the NIT stuff?
Actually, not exactly. How it happens is that the NCAA selection committee picks 60 teams that will be in that tournament, and after that, that's when the NIT would make their picks. And usually the NIT usually are the second place teams within almost every conference. Not saying that's always true, but in history that usually tends to happen. But usually if you lose the conference tournament, you're put into the NIT bracket. But like I said, it also depends on the strength of the schedule, depends on your RPI, depends on if you've had a really good strength schedule overall. That's why some teams' bubbles burst. Usually the teams that their bubbles burst usually be an NIT.
And it's not it's not shameful to be in the NIT tournament because it's still.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that's interesting. Do you know the NIT technically was the top tournament for quite a long while until the NCAA started up?
Actually, no, I didn't.
NIT used to be the top tournament before the NCAA tournament came into existence. But now the NCAA tournament is the top tournament, and the NIT is now the number 2.
Do you think Eastern could make the NIT one of these years?
What?
I mean, do you think Eastern can make the NIT one of these years?
I think even that would be a tough road for them. And if you're talking about men's basketball, that's a tough road for them to get to. Eastern's been known better for football than basketball.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's also another good point. I mean, some colleges are known for basketball, some are known for just football, because no one can do both. It's just
It's very hard for most colleges to win championships in baseball, basketball, and football. But there's not many, but there are some that have won championships in all three of those sports.
I mean, I think in order to do that, you gotta have like a big, what do I call it? Like you gotta have a university with a lot of funding and a lot of support behind you.
Right.
And Eastern just doesn't have that. I'm sorry.
That's the reason why the bigger schools, the bigger conferences tend to do better with winning a lot of national titles compared to most of the majors.
Mm-hmm.
Usually.
I mean,
that's always true, but usually.
Will we ever see a 16 beat a 1? It's definitely possible. Like, will we see it? Probably not. But
it's possible, but I highly doubt it.
I mean, we've come close a couple times. I think it's happened once or twice in the women's tournament.
No, that has never happened. A 16th seed has never been a number 1 seed. Never.
In the women's tournament, it did.
I thought we were just talking about men's, not women's.
No, I know, but I'm talking.
Yeah, but we're talking about men's basketball.
Right, I know.
I think women's, yeah, it has happened before. It could happen again in the women's tournament.
But as far as the men's, you don't think it has a shot at all?
I think it's going to be really tough. Really tough.
Because I think we've seen some of these top teams, like somebody like number 15 and number 2 teams battle out until like the final minute sometimes of games, and
yeah, and 15 seeds has been number 2, not very often.
Mm-hmm.
we haven't seen in men's basketball ever.
But okay, so on some high or low and some upsets. Do you think we'll have at least over or under 5 upsets this tournament?
I think we might actually see more this year.
Okay. Okay. I think the next question I want to ask is why. I mean, like, I want you to state your case.
The reason I say that is that if you look at least the top 20 teams of the RPI, all the records are very, very close to marginal. I mean, the highest team right now is at .6702. Number 25 team is at .6114. For RPI.
Kansas is second in RPI with a .6670.
I said from number 1 to 25.
Oh no, I'm looking at the 1 and 2 rankings. But yeah, let's see. Number 1, .6702. Number 25. Yeah, it's actually not too far off if you think about it.
And that's what I'm saying. I think we can see more upsets this year. I think it's very possible we can see more upsets this year, depending on how the tournament goes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you ever see maybe like a sub? Let's see, like a team seeded over 10 at least making the Sweet 16.
10 within in the top 10 for RPI rankings.
No, like someone that's like a no.
Oh, so
no,
seeded number.
Like any team out of the 4 regions that's seeded like 10 or below, do you see them making at least the Sweet 16, if not the Elite 8?
Possible. It has happened. Not 16 seed. Haven't lower than 10 seed that have made it to 16. I can see that.
I mean, I think the only way a 16 beats a 1 is gonna be on some last second miracle.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. I absolutely agree with that one. It is in the history of NCAA men's basketball. There's
or a really historical collapse. That's the only way I see it happening. I don't see like a bet.
I completely agree.
I don't know if I see like a 16 like beating a 1 by like 10 points.
I agree with that. I would be very surprised if the number 16 seed would be the number 1 seed, at least in the men's basketball tournament. I'd be very surprised by that.
Okay. Let's see. Shifting gears, I guess you want to talk about the NHL, so I'll let you take the floor.
Well, in NHL anyway, that's been going on a while in the NHL. It's starting to get a little exciting. Well, I know the Blackhawks have done decently this year so far. The Blackhawks looks like that they just lost not that long ago. The Oilers. Right now, looking at standings anyway.
Let's see. As far as division goes, let's see. They're 7 points behind Minnesota, who's actually they're actually pretty good this year.
Blackhawks are doing very well.
I know. I'm actually talking about the surprise that Minnesota's in first.
Yeah, Minnesota. They're doing really good this year. Really good. They're at 82 points. And remember, it's by whoever has the top or the most amount of points. Top 8 teams from both conferences make the playoffs.
Now, what if 2 teams are tied? And like, let's say we get down to like the last game of the season, and Minnesota and Chicago are tied.
It'll probably do the point differential. Then, how many goals scored compared to the goals allowed they had?
Goal differential.
Right
okay,
now, Minnesota's at plus 59. Chicago's at plus 17.
Man, Minnesota has been killing it this season.
That's why probably if they would get to be tied at some point, I don't think that will happen.
I at least say they're the early favorites to at least win the West.
The thing is, I like the NHL, even though you are the number one seed, not always number one seed wins the
Oh yeah,
Stanley Cup.
yeah. No, that's true. Like let's see some other divisions. Let's see the Pacific Division. Pacific Division's kind of closer. Let's see. We got San Jose with 74 points.
Edmonton
Edmonton
Oilers,
with 72. That's actually surprising considering.
yes.
I mean, but
Anaheim Ducks.
Edmonton, I will give Edmonton credit. They've built throughout the years. They built throughout the draft over the years,
Yes, they have.
and it's starting to pay off.
It is paying off for them. And the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Those are top three teams right there anyway. The teams that are showing that more likely will probably make the playoffs for Western Conference. Minnesota is at number 1. Number 2 is Chicago. 3 is San Jose. 4 is Edmonton. 5 is Anaheim. 6 is St. Louis. 7 is Nashville. And number 8 is the Calgary Flames.
Calgary, I'm right. Wow, okay. I'd say for my top 8 in the West, let's see. I'd go Minnesota. Minnesota. Let's see.
I just got my points right now. What it's showing right now is points.
I'm going my points as well. I'd go Minnesota, Chicago, let's see, San Jose, Edmonton, let's see, Anaheim as a fifth seed. Let's see, 6, St. Louis, Nashville, of course, and Calgary or LA. Calgary or LA, yeah. See, Calgary and LA are actually pretty close. They're only a point behind each other. So
yeah, but Calgary, it doesn't matter. Calgary still has more points than the Los Angeles Kings.
No, I know.
Calgary would be the number 8 seed.
Okay. Let's see, and in the East, let's take a look at the East. Washington. Let's see, Washington got 85 so far. Pittsburgh with 80.
Columbus. Then
Columbus is impressive this year.
Montreal Canadiens.
Only 7.
Ottawa Senators. The Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow. Let's see. Let's see here. I don't know. I think Montreal's playing like. To be fair though, Montreal's playing like in a weaker division though. You gotta remember that.
Even if they are, they still would make the playoffs.
Okay. Okay. No, I know, but.
Well, like I said, it's based on points. Whoever has the top points, most points.
No, I know. It's still kind of messed up though. But
it's not really messed up. It actually works out really well.
Let's see. Let's see. Those would be your top. Let's see right now. But let's see. Are there any teams outside the top 8 that if they made a second half splurge that they could break that top 8?
In the Eastern Conference, I think they've got a better shot of doing it. Of the 8 teams that I just said, Florida, Buffalo, New York Islanders, I'd say the Flyers have a shot, and New Jersey Devils, I think have a shot. But Tampa Bay, Detroit, and Carolina, I'd say for the most part, they've got a lot of work to do, but it's starting to not work out so well. Western Conference, on the other hand, is showing a lot.
Arizona just needs to relocate.
Yeah, but it depends on money. You can't always say that they have to relocate. It just depends on the money. It depends if they want to stay there or not. If they decide to stay there, they just decide to stay there.
Fair enough. Let's see. I mean, we still have a whole lot of season left to go, so anything can happen.
I don't think Arizona will make the playoffs this year anyway. They only have 47 points. I mean, it's possible they could climb up, but it's not looking. Actually, if you want to talk about a team that really should be, if you talk about any team that really should be relocating, it's the Colorado Avalanche, really. Not Arizona, it's Colorado.
Really?
They only have 34 points in NHL this year. Only 34 points. They're 16 and 38. But only 2 overtimes.
Oh, the Montreal lost. Yeah, okay. No, that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, they've only scored 111 goals. They go up just about 200.
Arizona, at least Arizona, they're in the 40s anyway. The weakest team right now this year is the Colorado Avalanche, and they've only got 34 points.
I mean, with a few strong wins together, Arizona can catch up to that number 8 spot like in the West.
Good.
No, they're not too far behind LA or Calgary.
And I know Calgary and LA, LA won the Stanley Cup not that long ago. I'm sure, obviously, the team's different now. I'm sure there's different players. But even Los Angeles has been fairly tough this year. But yeah, the NHL season so far this year has been an interesting one. And that's what I like about most sports. It's very interesting.
Oh yeah, and anything can happen. I mean, you can have, you can have a team from like the cellar kind of just come up and just surprise you the second half and be like, where did this team come from?
Yeah, that's the reason why I like the NHL. You go, oh, this team they will even make the HCU and wait for about 3 weeks later to go, how the heck did they just do that?
I mean, like, let's take for example. I mean, for years regarding Columbus, no one really gave them any respect, and they pull off this 15-game winning streak.
They still got a chance to make the playoffs anyway.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they're now in the playoff talk.
Now, currently they're at number 3 seed. That's still good anyway.
But I mean, as far as the NHL goes this year, is this the year that Ovi finally gets his cup?
Who?
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin? It's possible. It's very possible.
I mean, Crosby just got his 1,000th point here, like what, a few days ago.
I can see that. I can see Ovechkin I can see him getting his Stanley Cup. I can see that. They're just gonna have to be playing hard.
Because I honestly think he does deserve at least one, considering how good he's played over his career.
You may deserve it, but the thing is, you gotta play for it. You gotta play hard for it.
And not taking away from him, he has played hard. I just think he's run into better teams in the Eastern Conference.
The Eastern Conference overall throughout history usually has been the better conference.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they've been jacked with talent.
Well, if I remember right, I talked about the NHL history. The Eastern Conference technically is the older conference than the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm.
The Eastern Conference, it was Wales and Campbell Conference. The Wales Conference, if I remember right, was the Eastern Conference not long ago. Eastern Conference.
Now, if you're gonna put a team up for relocation, I mean, not saying that they will, but if you had your choice.
Or what team and where they should move to if it would happen.
Like, what team do you think right now in the NHL has the highest need for relocation if you could choose?
I'd say top 2 teams right now is either Colorado or Arizona. And where I would move to, it depends on what team would want to move, but I'd say one of those teams should go to Canada anyway.
Honestly, I'd say move Arizona uh, to Quebec.
I could see Colorado going to Quebec also. And I would say right now, if people, if the fans are so shocked with Colorado, then yeah, I'd say if Arizona's not getting new fans in there, then yeah, I'd say move Arizona to Quebec. I would agree with that. But also, if there's people showing up to Colorado, Avalanche hockey games.
I mean, and I get that there's a demand. There's a bit of a demand for hockey in the desert, but it just doesn't make sense to me, you know?
Actually, I think it sort of does. Heck, there's hockey in LA, and it's a very warm place there also.
I mean, hockey in Atlanta failed, but at least,
There's
at least
hockey,
they gave it
there's
a
hockey,
shot. They
there's
gave it a
hockey,
shot,
there's hockey in Dallas. I mean, it's a
and they
warm place
actually
there also.
produced. Well, yeah, there's also hockey in Dallas too, but they actually came from Minnesota, actually.
Yeah, but they're still in Dallas now. They haven't moved back to
I know.
Minnesota. Is what they've done to Minnesota.
Dude,
Well,
I'm just telling you where they came from, man.
I know, but I'm telling you that's where they're at right now. And you just can't always exactly relocate just because you got a losing season just on one season.
Yeah, but you also got to think long term.
Yeah, but you also got to think about money, about being able to save up money and do that. If they don't have the money to do that, they can't move.
True. I mean, let's see. Next up, let's see. The trade deadline for the NBA is here in a couple of days. I mean, do you let's see. Do you think any major moves will happen?
In the NBA this
Yeah.
year, maybe. What are some of the rumors anyway? Are there any big names that are in the rumor right now that could possibly be traded?
I mean, I've heard. Man, this is probably been like the last few months. I've heard Jimmy Butler maybe be being shopped around, which I think will be a huge mistake.
I mean, if he's not getting along with players that well, I don't know if that's a true fact or not.
Yeah, but he's the only talent they got.
Even if he is their only talent that they've got, the NBA is a little stranger when it comes to trading players. They tend to trade the best players usually to a different team anyway. And the best players tend to go to the teams that have the best players. So right now, the best team right now is Golden State. So I'd say that most players want to play with the Golden State Warriors right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when all else fails, go play for the best team. But back in our day, we never had that happen.
Actually, they did. The Bulls actually got the best players those years also. The Lakers did the same thing when Kobe and Shaq. They had Derek Fisher. All teams have done that. That have won the NBA titles. How do you think Dennis Rodman got to the Bulls anyway? If it wasn't for Dennis Rodman winning a championship with the Detroit Pistons, he probably never would have made it to the Bulls later on.
I thought Rodman was with the Spurs first, wasn't he?
No, he was with the Detroit Pistons.
Not after Detroit. Didn't he go to San Antonio, or did he go straight to Chicago?
He went straight to Chicago. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure Dennis Rodman. I know he originally started with the Pistons. With Isaiah Thomas, what's his name? Bill Lambert, if I remember right. But the big star that stayed in the NBA for the longest amount of time was Dennis Rodman. No, okay, he was with San Antonio for a time, but you're right.
Yeah, he was in San Antonio. Let's see. Yeah, 93, 94.
Now,
Yeah, he was in San Antonio from 93 and 95.
yeah, he wasn't with them that long, and then after that, he went.
I went to the Lakers. Well, I went to the Lakers and Dallas for a couple of years after.
It was only for a season long for both those two.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying that's not surprising.
Well, usually what happens with most players after they won their when they get the titles and that after they're with a dynasty or that, they tend to go to the weaker teams after that. Because after you won those titles with the Bulls, that's when you became a big megastar, and that's when.
I mean, is that kind of what happened here with like like D Wade and LeBron?
Yep.
I mean, LeBron went back home, and D Wade kind of technically went back home since he was like the legacy he lived in Chicago.
Yep. That's what usually happens with most NBA players. After they win their titles, they tend to go to another team, and then they usually stay at home after that.
With the exception of Kobe. I mean, Kobe wasn't originally with LA. He got drafted by New Orleans, but then got traded.
Yeah, that is right.
I mean, but hypothetically, do you think Kobe would have still been the megastar that he is had he actually stayed with his original team that drafted him?
I really don't know what I would say on that, because in that, I don't think you can really have a perfect answer to that, because what happens is what happens. Like you said, you'll never know what could happen.
I mean, I think he'd be a star, but he wouldn't be like the big mega star that he became when he went to LA.
You can't say an answer to that because no one would know because it never happened.
Well, no, I know that. We're just throwing out hypothetical guesses here.
Hypothetical, it doesn't really, on that part, it doesn't matter. What they did with the Lakers is what matters, and he did very well for the Lakers.
No, I think our final part of this topic. I mean, like what are 3 teams that you think should make a move at the deadline that need to make a move in order to make the playoffs?
Well, so I'm looking at standings right now to see what teams are
at least on the edge.
Teams are on the edge. I think that should maybe do some trades. Maybe Milwaukee Bucks, they can do something.
Well, they just lost Jabari Parker for like the whole year.
That's gonna hurt them. That's gonna hurt them a lot. But the thing is, if I remember Jabari Parker, that's a guy that I'm pretty sure the Bucks want to keep. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure his contract's not up yet. We don't want to keep him. After that, maybe Miami Heat, maybe. But Miami starting.
I don't know. I think Miami's more of a rebuild right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Miami's fading this year. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Brooklyn's definitely a rebuild.
We have a shot at trading someone, names the Milwaukee Bucks, maybe.
Oh, Philly can show potential, but they won't be a playoff team for at least another 2-3 years.
I'd say Western Conference, Sacramento maybe, but even that, I think the teams that are the top 8 teams right now for both conferences, I think they're the teams that will probably make the playoffs.
Yeah, because Sacramento is right now 8th in the conference right now.
They're 9th in the conference.
They're 9th? I thought that 1, 2, 3,
nope.
5. 6. Okay, they are 9th. Okay, I'm reading it wrong, but yeah. Sacramento, Portland, New Orleans,
Dallas, Minnesota, LA Lakers, and the Phoenix Suns.
Not Phoenix. I don't know what's happened to that team since they fired Hornacek.
From one deal, I'm sort of glad that it's back in the top now. The Boston Celtics. They may not be number 1 seed, but at least they'll make the playoffs.
Where's Boston? Man, Boston's actually doing pretty well. I mean, they're only, let's see, they're 37-20. Indiana's even doing pretty good. Let's see. Right now, if the season ended, Chicago would be a 7th seed, which isn't terrible, but
heck, when it comes to the conference anyway, the Central Division, I think, could particularly have the most teams. In the playoffs this year.
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
say potentially right now, if you look at the conference standings of the Eastern Conference, I'm pretty sure the Central Division may have the most teams in the playoffs this year. Maybe.
You're thinking maybe like over or under? You're thinking maybe over 3?
No, if the way it keeps playing right now, it's very possible that the Central Division may have 4 teams, possibly even 5. Milwaukee keeps playing the way they're playing.
Do you think all 5 teams in the Central will make the play? That's a bold prediction, and it's possible.
I know it's a bold prediction, but I'm just saying right now, the standings right now, there's 4 teams already of the Central Division that are in the top.
I mean, Detroit and Milwaukee aren't even too far out from being a 500 team. Let's see, Chicago, Detroit, and Milwaukee are at least 2 or 3 wins away from being a 500 team. In Indiana, they're a win above 500.
They're above 500. And Cleveland Cavaliers are the number 1 team right now in the Eastern Conference.
Let's see, as far as the West goes, let's see, Northwest. Ooh. Let's see. As far as the West, let's see, Golden State, obviously.
Yeah.
47-9. So they're obviously gonna win their division's like a cakewalk. The Southwest, even at their old age, San Antonio's still doing pretty good.
Oh yeah, San Antonio's done very well. Popovich is their coach. I've always liked Popovich anyway. And consecutive titles, they've always found at least one year who would get themselves in and win the title. But I don't think this year's going to be that year. Again, either. I think it's going to go State versus Cleveland again, but that's just my prediction.
Possible. Highly possible, actually. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's see. 35-22. That's actually not too bad. Okay. So you're saying your official prediction for the finals in a few months it will be Golden State and Cleveland again. Okay.
I could see that happening. I mean, I could be wrong, but I could see that happening.
No, fair enough. I think to move on to our WWE part of the night, we got to acknowledge 2 deaths that happened here in the past few days. First off, George the Animal Steele.
I liked him as a wrestler. He was a good wrestler to watch.
And the second one being Ivan Koloff.
Him? Wow.
Yeah.
Two big legends in the history of wrestling. 2 very big legends in the history of wrestling. I've heard those names before. Great Animal Steele and Ivan Koloff. Ivan Koloff was a former, at the time WWF champion. Well, not even WWF, but you know what I'm talking about anyway.
Yeah. Let's see.
Great Animal Steele. I can't remember what.
Whose real name was Oriel Paris, died from liver disease at 74. Wow.
Ouch.
I mean, I think, but as far as WrestleMania goes, I mean, I guess we're gonna get into our next part of this whole WrestleMania video series. The Hall of Fame has always kind of been the night or a couple of nights before WrestleMania. I mean, what do you think of this year's class?
Well, I know for the fact that Teddy Long is going to be in it this year. That's why I'm looking up for the Hall of Fame, but he's anyway. I've always liked Teddy Long. I thought he was always a great general manager. Kurt Angle. This could be a really decent class of people getting in this year.
Let's see. Right now we've got Teddy Long, the Rock and Roll Express, and Kurt Angle.
So far, I like the class right now.
I will agree too. I'll agree. This class is going to be probably one of the best here in the last few years. I mean,
I think overall, I think this is a very decent class being inducted in this year.
Now, usually WWE likes to induct a celebrity in the Hall of Fame every year. I mean, are there any celebrities in your mind that stand out that should get in?
One that I think could potentially be put in there.
Okay.
Even though he was with WCW.
Okay, we got name him. Yeah.
I said Dennis Rodman. I think Dennis Rodman could be the celebrity this year that could be put in there.
That's an interesting pick. That's interesting. I mean, even before Mike Tyson came in and appeared with the WWF, WWE started that whole thing with Dennis Rodman, and that was actually like him and Malone and Jay Leno. They all tore the house down then.
Oh yeah, and I think Dennis Rodman voted into the Hall of Fame this year, possibly.
I mean, if you can have someone like Drew Carey, why not have Dennis Rodman? No.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's look up this real quick. Let's see. You're saying Dennis Rodman? I mean, because I can't really think of many other celebrities that have really done a whole lot of work with both WCW or WWE outside of Rodman, Mike Tyson. Let's see, Butterbean. No, not really. I don't know. That's gonna be hard to predict a celebrity for the Hall of Fame. I mean, but I think if you had to go on one, I'd say Dennis Rodman would be a great pick.
That's what I pick for WWE Hall of Fame for celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
Kind of round out. I mean, to kind of round out the other Hall of Fame selections. I mean, who would you want in there if you had control?
For WWE Hall of Fame?
Yeah, at least this year. Because we kind of know the Colonel's going to be headlining it, obviously.
Well, that'd be tough to pick anyway, especially because I don't know how many more people are technically retired. I know obviously everyone's a superstar, but do they make a really big impact on the WWE? Actually, one guy that I think one time at some point later on in his career probably will be in it, and should be in it, and I know you agree with me on this one, is The Rock.
I think The Rock should get in, but he should headline.
I don't think it's time. Yeah, I'm saying I don't think it's times yet, but I think it's something he should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I agree. He should have it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever year he gets in, he should headline the Hall of Fame. Absolutely.
Like, just think about like both him and the Undertaker co-headline the Hall of Fame.
Heck yeah. Oh, that would be it. Whenever Undertaker and Rock come in, if those two would get put into the Hall of Fame that year, that would be the greatest class of all time. Being put into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Now, when they do get in, I mean, like, who would you want to induct them?
Well, I know with The Rock, I know especially the guy who probably should put him in. Either Hulk Hogan or Vince McMahon. Or heck,
maybe anyone from his family, like Roman Reigns, or
actually even his dad, Rocky Johnson. If his dad is still alive, and I hope he is when the time comes, I think his dad should be inducted.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The Rock inducted his dad into the Hall of Fame, gave a speech. I think his dad should do the same for his son. But that's just my opinion.
Okay.
Now, I think that's going to be a little bit tougher to pick because there's so many people you can have on there.
You have Vince, you have Triple H, you have Kane.
Actually, the guy that I really think that should put him in.
Shawn Michaels.
No, I don't think it should be Shawn Michaels. No, I think it should be.
Okay.
I think it should be Glenn Jacobs who plays Kane.
I said Kane.
You said Shawn Michaels.
No, I said Kane. But before Shawn Michaels.
I think it should be him, Glenn Jacobs.
Okay. Let's see. As
But
far as this
but
year
if I
goes,
was, but if I was also Undertaker, and if I was WWE, I think it just should be more than just Kane. I think there should be a lot of superstars giving speeches about Undertaker.
yeah, like Kane, Triple H, Vince.
Shawn Michaels, Vince, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, Hulk Hogan,
Assuming
Flair.
they bring back Hogan, which you'd think they will eventually. I mean,
Yeah, but if I was WWE, especially when it comes to the character of Undertaker, that's when you need to have a lot of people talking about him. Because without that character, WWE won't be where it's in the position where it's at now. Without the Undertaker character, they never would have gotten this
I mean,
far.
the Undertaker carried this company for the last 25 years.
Yeah, he's carried it longer than anyone else has. He's carried it even longer than Hulk Hogan.
I mean, when other guys jumped ship to WCW,
He stayed.
he
He
stayed.
stayed loyal. He stayed loyal the whole time. He didn't leave.
And no, I'm trying to think. He started in WCW.
Yes, he did start WCW. If you talk about big promotions, he started in WCW, and then in November of 1990, actually a little bit before November 1990, he got right into WWE. And how he got into WWE technically was because of a movie he was in with Hulk Hogan. I think it was called Commando, if I remember right. And
No, it must have been one of them early movies I never saw.
And well, he was playing a basically he almost looked like a Western character, like an Undertaker, a guy like in Tombstone, like Wyatt Earp.
Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon killed the character of Undertaker. Of course, Mark Calloway, when he came to that meeting, they had talked to him. Well, he thought, great, I'm not going to get hired on. Well, I think Vince already knew what he was having planned already. I think he knew what was going on.
I mean, who do you give more credit to the Undertaker character more, Vince or the Undertaker?
I have to say at the beginning, Vince, but if we're talking about now at this point, I have to give it to Mark Calloway. Because technically, even though Vince did come up with the creative idea to give the Undertaker to him, Vince even told him, you could do what, he said, just keep it onto the Western side. They said, you could change up your gear, you could change up your costume, you could change up your character a little bit. He said, go for it. And so really, if it was for Mark Calloway, that's why Mark Calloway can pick any day he chooses to come. That's why he always shows up at WrestleMania now, because he's that big of a character. So I give credit to both of them, but the guy that I give most credit to is the guy that actually has performed them of most of his life, and that's Mark Calloway.
Now, is there anyone in the Hall of Fame right now that if you had the power to, you would take out and then replace with whoever you like?
This is the one part I really just want to say, because there's a lot of people in the WWE Hall of Fame I actually like it.
Like, I'd like to take out, I don't know, maybe take out Sonny and put Chyna in.
Maybe,
I know, I know that's wishful thinking, but
well, that's what I'm looking at right now. Who's in the Hall of Fame right now? If I would, WWE Hall of Fame is what it is right now.
I mean, but do you think the Hall of Fame is more of a what do you call it, a political game, or do you think it's really big?
Most Hall of Fames are a political game. Most Hall of Fames are. Why do you think Pete Rose is in the WWE Hall of Fame and not Major League Baseball Hall of Fame?
Politics.
Right.
Plus, wait a minute, like, isn't Pete Rose like banned for life from the MLB, the Hall of
Yep.
Fame? That's,
Yeah. That's why he's
that's a
not.
shame too.
That's why he's never been elected.
He was one of the best hitters of the game too.
Well, I completely agree. But that's why WWE put him into the WWE Hall of Fame and not Major League Baseball not putting him into their Hall of Fame.
Okay. I'm trying to think for a second. Now you said you had some match ideas you wanted to talk, that
Yeah,
you want to talk about with me.
Yeah, about match ideas, what possibly I think could happen at this year's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know for a fact now that Lesnar and Goldberg is a match that will happen at WrestleMania 33. And I'm glad about that. Here's the other match ideas. This is just my opinion. I don't know if this will happen. I think it'd be cool to see Undertaker versus Rock happen at WrestleMania this year.
And you've got time. You've got like what 6 weeks to build that. You've got time, but
Yeah.
you also got to think, the Rock's Hollywood schedule as well.
If I remember it, The Rock said that he would be at WrestleMania this year anyway. If I remember right. And knowing those two, they've worked together for a long time. I think they could come up with a really good match right off the cuff. I think they could come up with a good storyline, a really good storyline.
Mm.
I don't think it's taken that long to come up with a good storyline with those two. Those two guys have worked very well together, and I'm pretty sure those two guys have been really friends for a long time.
I just don't want to see the Undertaker in another wasted match. I'm not saying.
I don't think it'd be a wasted match. I don't think it'd be a wasted match.
And I'm not saying that that his match against Shane or his match against Bray was wasted. I'm just saying it didn't live up to what it could have been. Especially
Sure, and that's why I agree with that. But that's why I think Undertaker versus Rock, I think it would live up to what it is.
Like Undertaker versus Roman would. I don't know. That just doesn't sit right with me.
I don't think that'll happen this year, but I could see that happening next year. I think Roman's still young. You've got to get him. You've got to have him time to grow.
Well, how can you give him time to grow if they're trying to shove him down your throat every week?
Well, because that's how you try to get your superstars to grow. What they do with The Rock. They sort of did that, and that's how we try to bring up their stars. And that's why I think here's other ideas. The Universal title, but I think what could happen is Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. For the World Heavyweight title, Cena versus Orton versus Wyatt. If it would go down this for Triple H versus Rollins, that would be a match. I think
that's a kayfabe injury. I think that's just they're trying to play it out.
I think what type of match it should be. What is Triple H's most famous type of match that he likes to be in most?
Hell in the Cell.
Right.
And Rollins. That would be interesting.
And
the creator versus the architect. That'd be interesting. I'm sorry, that'd be pretty interesting.
And then Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. Because I think AJ Styles should have a spot in
at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania, there's a lot of good matches.
But the only thing I'm worried about that is how do you build something like that? I mean, I know you've got like 6 weeks, but how do you like what do you build around? I mean,
TLC, tables, ladders, chairs.
I meant like the whole story going into WrestleMania. I mean, do you have?
Yeah, tables, ladders, chairs.
I mean, do you have like Shane Styles
has always been the extreme guy that has always been a high flyer. So is Shane, and I know Shane and Styles, at least by the way the way's been going.
I'm not talking about the actual match itself. I'm talking about like the actual build-up to the match. I mean, how do you build the story?
That's what I'm saying. They've been going after each other on SmackDown. Am I wrong on that?
I don't think you are. I mean, I have to go back and watch SmackDown, but
I've watched videos, and I know Shane's been getting right in Styles' face, and Styles has been taking back to Shane.
You think
That's
maybe
way build up a storyline.
Shane cost him? You think maybe Shane cost him a shot at the title like in the Battle Royal next week?
Maybe.
That's kind of what we get.
And that's why I think it should be a TLC match. Shane's been TLC matches before. Styles has been TLC matches also. Not with WWE, but with TNA at the time.
Yeah, which is Full Metal Mayhem.
Yeah, and I think that'll be a great match to see. I mean, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
I wouldn't say a TLC match. Maybe no hold barred.
I'd rather see a TLC match with those two. But
in a TLC match, you have to climb a ladder and grab something, don't you? I mean, what would you grab? I mean,
well, for Shane, what does he usually use anyway when he's in the ring?
the garbage can?
Yeah. And AJ Styles, I know he's used the Kindle stick. I'm sure he's used that quite a few times in his wrestling matches.
I don't know. We're supposed to have different opinions on the show. I think if you're gonna have an AJ versus Shane match, make it no hold barred.
I can see that.
That's my opinion, though.
I can see that. I think either TLC or no holds barred. I think one of those two would do very well anyway. Both of those two.
As far as the Intercontinental Championship, I mean,
Ambrose versus Miz. Because if you've seen what has happened throughout SmackDown, those two are at odds with each other. And Maurice is pounding Renee. That makes just the perfect storyline right there, right now, for IC title.
And I think it was maybe at least a month or two ago that Renee Young slapped the Miz right in the face.
Yeah.
So you can have. I don't know how over this would get with the fans, but maybe like a mixed tag team match for the Intercontinental title, to where if Maurice pins Renee, then Miz wins the belt, and if Renee pins Maurice, then Ambrose keeps the belt.
Yeah, Ambrose keeps the belt. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. For the U.S. title.
But you would send Cena at the belt again.
For the world heavyweight title? Yeah, I would.
But you wouldn't necessarily have him win it because if he's going to take time off.
Right. I was going to get him in there because he's a big money maker, but have Bray Wyatt still on the match.
So, would you have him put him over to kind of make up for what happened at WrestleMania 30?
Have Cena put over Wyatt?
Yeah. Like clean.
Yeah, I would. If Cena's going to be leaving and you need a guy that has to step up anyway and be the next champion.
And Bray Wyatt can be a good champion. It's just a matter of how they book him.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's
same with Dean Ambrose. I mean, he had the potential to be a good champion, but they booked him wrong.
Yeah, and that's the reason I think Wyatt should go over Orton and Cena. I think you should have a triple threat match. Have Cena in there because he's a big money maker, but have Wyatt go over those two.
I mean, do you think that maybe Orton's playing Wyatt and then he's gonna turn on him like the week before WrestleMania?
That's possible.
Or at WrestleMania itself? That's
possible too. I just know that the one guy that I don't. The thing is, Cena's a fan favorite, but I know he's taking time off, so it's going to be down to Orton or Wyatt. It just depends on how WWE wants it. But Cena, I think, should definitely be in that match anyway because he's a big money maker for WWE. Would I be wrong on that?
No, I mean, I think it was this past week on SmackDown that Nikki and Natty had a no holds barred match. I mean, do you think they have a match at WrestleMania to kind of?
Oh yeah, I definitely see that happening. I can definitely see that happening by far. Nikki versus Natalya. That's why I was saying. I think the WWE has got a lot of good options this year for matches. This will be a little tougher to write, but I see a lot of similarities between these two. Well, right now, Y2J is the United States champion. Why did you put a surprise in there? And guess who I think that surprise should be?
Wait, repeat that one more time. Because I think Jericho's U.S. champion, isn't he?
Yeah, I said Y2J is the U.S. champion. I think I think we should put a surprise in it. And guess what I think the surprise should be?
Who?
Finn Balor.
That just might work. Assuming he's healthy enough in he might be healthy enough in time.
That's I think should be surprised. And to be honest, I think, and I'm pretty sure Y2J is going to be back with his band at some point soon. I'd say WrestleMania would be the perfect time for him to drop the belt and give the Balor, and the Balor can work himself back up.
Now, assuming somehow Owens retains, you want him to go after, or like you want to send him at Reigns.
Who would you rather have go over, Reigns or Owens? Who do you want to go over?
Wow, that's. If it were me, I'd rather have Owens Jericho for both titles. But then again, that's just my opinion. But if we're talking Reigns Owens, I mean Owens has had the belt for what? Probably since SummerSlam. So.
And the way I see it, I think Reigns should go over Owens, and then Balor have the U.S. title. But at some point, Balor loses the U.S. title, and then he goes after Roman Reigns later on.
I'd say you bank it out. So let's see. If it's Reigns Owens at WrestleMania, you have Owens go over, and then Finn Balor comes back for the title he never lost.
But that's why I think Balor should be Y2J for the U.S. title. To get him back to work mode and have him be consistent, and then bring him, and later on bring him back up as the Universal Champion later on.
Mm-hmm.
See my point? Can I say the other ideas that I've got? If that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
For the Raw Women's title, this is what I think should happen. Bayley versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax versus Charlotte. SmackDown's women's title, Naomi versus Becky Lynch versus Mickie James.
Assuming Naomi keeps it to WrestleMania, because Alexa, I think Alexa does have a rematch clause.
Or heck, you can even make that a fatal four-way match also. And put a Bliss in there. Obviously, we said Nikki versus Natalya, Raw Tag Team Championship. Anderson and Gallows versus Enzo and Cass. SmackDown Tag Team Championships, American Alpha versus The Ascension. If they would do Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal, maybe possibly could Samoa Joe possibly be the winner. And for the Cruiserweight, Swan versus Neville.
Not a bad idea.
But those are my ideas. I think storyline, I think they would be easy to do. And that's the reason why with all these divisions now, they've got really good storylining going on that you can make or have a lot of different options for matches. It's just finding which match fits well within WrestleMania for this year.
Even though NXT had their own event the night before WrestleMania, do you still have Bobby Roode as champion?
If he's popular enough, the fans are really liking him, if there's a heel or a babyface, yeah, I would. I know he's really popular. He was really popular in TNA. Is he a big sellout for next? If he is, I'd say down. Keep him champion. But there's someone else that they're rooting for more compared to him. I'd say.
I think I've heard rumors that they want to send Cassius Ohno at him. That they want to send a Cassius Ohno at him.
Who?
Cassius Ohno.
Yeah, I've heard about Cassius. If they're wanting him to go over, I'd say do it. It's all about the money. It's about what match will make more money for WWE. That's what next. And
you're also got to remember, it's also, it's a really hard balancing act between, it's about getting the profit, but also making the fans happy.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
Sometimes that's easier said than done.
Yeah, and that's why some people take some losses, you know, I'm sure fans are upset with it, but they have to see the big picture of the story.
I mean, especially with today's fans, because today's fans, you cannot make happy no matter what you do.
Right. And I'm sorry, the fans are going to have to get over that.
Whereas, you know, back in our day, I mean,
that's what I loved about the Attitude Era. It was always a surprise. You didn't know who was going to win the match.
Whereas now you got like leaks and dirt sheets. I'm like,
yeah.
Can we just keep this stuff a surprise, please? And I know you got to do like, the reporting and stuff, but still.
I mean, that's the reason why I like the divisions now. It makes you think of like the Attitude Era, because now you've got so many different options that you can pick and choose who's going to win. I mean, these are just my opinions. You know, even like the triple threat match. If it was me, I'd rather have Wyatt win it, but that's just me anyway. For that triple threat match, that's just my opinion. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't,
I mean, I'd like to see a Wyatt family triple threat, and maybe since Cena is going, you know, unless they do, you know, Cena, Orton, Wyatt. If they don't do that, maybe put Cena against Corbin, and maybe have Corbin go over.
I don't think Cena was Corbin.
I don't know. See, it's hard to know what to do because all these rumors are coming in at once, and it's like, I have Miz, Maurice against Cena like that. That would just, oh boy. I don't know. That's not smart business if you think about it. If you put those four in the next tag.
I mean, it's possible, but I don't see that happening. I don't think it's going to be.
The only way that would work is if the Miz went over.
That I agree with, and that's why I don't think it's going to be Cena and Nikki versus Miz and Maurice.
Because Cena's not going to want to put, you know, Miz or Maurice over, especially if he's going to take the talent, and if she's retiring.
That's why I think Q did better with the triple threat match with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt and put Bray over.
I mean, we'll find out this Tuesday with the. I guess we're doing some sort of battle royal or something to name a new number one contender. So.
That's why I think it'd be good. That's why I think it'd be good for a triple threat match for those two, and have Nikki go against Natalia. Because if Nikki's not retiring, I'd say have Nikki and Natalia go ahead at the WrestleMania match in for that storyline. But this is my opinion. Because you look at what happened at Elimination Chamber, both of them lost the match in a double count.
They did? Okay.
They both lost to the double count. That's why I think the ending.
That's why you saved that no holds barred match for WrestleMania.
No, he said that for SmackDown.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I was just thinking out loud here for a second.
Pretty sure he said that for SmackDown.
Okay.
But do I think the storyline should go to about WrestleMania? Yeah, I think it should. And I think women should get a shot of being in WrestleMania. I think, like I said, I think all divisions have really good rivals, and let's just find which matches fit all the best of the WrestleMania. And the storylines to do the best of fitting in within that show. I think we're great doing that.
Well, yeah. Remember, WrestleMania is a 4-hour show, so you can fit a lot on there.
And with the stuff I've got on there, I think they can do fairly well with that. I could be wrong.
Let's see. Before we conclude tonight's show, you got any final thoughts?
I'm really excited about WrestleMania, especially if I'm sure Undertaker will be wrestling in WrestleMania. It's just going to be quite intriguing and interesting to find out who his WrestleMania opponent will be.
And if he doesn't fight The Rock, who would you want him to fight if he doesn't fight if he's not going to fight The Rock?
It'd have to be Roman Reigns then.
Staying here. Okay, so for this episode of The Final Count, I'm Jose, a co-host Grant, and we'll see you guys later.